I want to thank Brian Mudd, sat in last night, right, Mr. Producer? Good man. WJNO, Florida. One of my home stations. Did a great job, I understand. Where was I? I was at Christians United for Israel, their annual meeting, KUF. And I was invited to participate, along with my wife, Julie, my mother-in-law, Sylvia, and we went with Pastor John Hagee. I say John Hagee's my pastor because I admire him so much. And he's got a fantastic and massive church and parishioners down there in San Antonio, Texas. But this is a man who's so committed to his faith and so committed to the Jewish faith and the Jewish people in the state of Israel that he has amassed membership into KUFI, Christians United for Israel, over 10.5 million members. And you can go online and pick up some of this. It was just very, very important. There's a lot going on, and I have a couple of questions for you, America. Kamala Harris. Was Kamala Harris lying all these years? Was she lying all these years when she was giving answers to questions or making statements like a good Marxist Islamist? When she threw in with the Hate America crowd? When she threw in with the Hate Israel crowd? When she threw in with the No Borders crowd, the Defund the Police crowd, the Attack ICE and the Border Patrol crowd? Was she lying for the last decade or two, or is she lying now when she's trying to change all her positions on fracking, on defunding the police, and all the ones I just mentioned? Will the real Kamala Harris please sit the hell down? Who is she? She's making statements like she's not the vice president of the United States, like she has no role in this administration. I'm going to make the border stronger than Trump. Wait a minute, aren't you the vice president? Okay, we'll play along, but not for long. She's not the border czar. She was, but again, we'll play along right this second. Now, she was vice president of the United States. Isn't she still? She acts like she has nothing to do with this administration, the policies of this administration. She acts like her past isn't her past, it's somebody else's past. This is what happens when you have a lightweight, a radical, a weirdo. May I say she's weird? A weirdo, a cackler, who's never had to fight to become the quote-unquote nominee of the Democrat Party, and she's the putative nominee, no question about that. So we all hang around. Ooh, who's she going to pick as vice president? Wait a minute. We already done talking about her being picked as the nominee in one of the most outrageous coups in American history, one of the most outrageous impositions of a candidate by a political party? We just went through a Soviet-style process. Move along, don't look back. She's it. She's the winner. She's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now, you know I'm not into all these polls, but I looked at them. You would think with billions and billions of dollars of positive press in merely a week's time that she'd be slaughtering Donald Trump in the polls, but she's not. The last national poll I saw, Trump's 2 points ahead. And then they go to the states. Well, this state is this state is that. Okay, fine, whatever. And she'll get constant, positive billions and billions of in-kind, unreported contributions by the Democrat Party media. But again, that aside, she's not made any great movement. This time, in the summer, when Michael Dukakis and George H.W. Bush were running, Dukakis had a 17-point lead over George H.W. Bush. So these polls mean nothing right now, but they're using these polls to drive the propaganda. They want you to believe that the nation is rallying around Kamala Harris. The black community is rallying around Kamala Harris. The left is rallying around Kamala Harris. Well, there's an awful lot of rallying around going on, but I'm not seeing any great jump in the numbers. A little here and there, but nothing major. So the question to Kamala Harris is, were you lying before or are you lying now? about who you are? And the answer is she's lying now. But that is an important question. They call it flip-flopping. I call it pathological lying. She's a pathological liar, and now they're spending tens of millions of dollars on ads to promote the pathological liar as a pathological liar. And she acts, as I said, like she's not the vice president of the United States. She's the number 2 in the Biden-Harris regime. She used to vouch for Biden's brilliance, remember? She supported his policies. And she acts like she hasn't been involved in making any decisions. Me, borders aren't, no, that's a Republican trick. They're always this way, the right-wing white supremacists. This is what they always do. And so, now she's going to pick a vice president. Will it be Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania? Now, that would really help her. She needs Pennsylvania. He's Jewish. Excuse me. I'm Jewish. I don't care how many Jewish people she has around her. Her husband, if it's Josh Shapiro, if it's Ernie Grabatsky, if it's Phil Goldberg. I don't really care. She's the most anti-Israel public figure next to Bernie Sanders, next to Tlaib Omar, AOC, in the United States of America. She has never denounced Bernie Sanders' positions. She has never denounced the Stooges, the Islamists, the Marxists in her party, the Hamas wing of her party. She's never denounced them. She's thrown in with them. She's so close to CARE, it's an ugly picture. CARE, a Hamas front group, and other groups that are front groups in the United States of America for Iran, for Hamas, and all the rest of the reprobates. But now we're told, but look, she's got a Jewish husband. That means he's a weirdo. May I say he's weird? Oh, she might pick Josh Shapiro. Now, that might hurt her with the River to the Sea crowd, which is a big part of the Democrat base, as you well know. But nonetheless, Josh Shapiro. She's got a Jewish husband, Jewish running mate. If it's him, wow, then all is forgiven. The way you treat Netanyahu is forgiven. The way you gave a speech supporting the protesters, oh, the protesters. You mean the ones funded by Iran, Qatar, and Hamas? Oh, yes, them. It's all forgiven. The comments she made after she met with Netanyahu and stabbed him and the Israeli people in the it's all forgiven. Don't forget her husband's Jewish. Oh, I forgot. And by the way, here's the good news. All this crap, who is she going to pick? She's going to pick somebody from one of these battleground states? Josh Shapiro. Rest of the country's going, who the hell is Josh Shapiro? He's been governor for about 4 minutes. Oh, he's a moderate. Oh, I love it when the media tell us who the moderates are, don't you? He's a nobody. He's a loser. He opposes school choice. Well, they say he supports it. Really? But that aside, ladies and gentlemen, it won't matter. History tells us people vote for the president. They don't vote for the vice president. George W. Bush picked Dick Cheney. Right? Nixon picked Agnew. We can go on and on down the list. It's not determinative of anything. So far, Kamala Harris, she's gone to friendly audiences. We have an official request into the White House to speak to her, don't we, Mr. Producer? We have an official request to do an interview with Kamala Harris. Now, if I'm her, I would racialize everything. I'd say, she won't talk to me because I'm Jewish, straight, and white. That's got to be the reason. No, because she's a coward. That's right. She's a coward. She doesn't want to be pinned down. When did she have a press conference? Never. She hasn't had one, I don't know, in how long? Has she? Has she sat down with anybody who's not a sycophant or a surrogate? She sat down with Lester Holt. He didn't ask tough questions. He asked real questions. He was very good. She came off like an idiot. Have you ever been to the border? No, but I haven't been to Europe either. Oh, okay, got it. A moron. Let me tell you something. She's a liar. She's either lying back then or lying today. Oh, I'm not. I'm for fracking. Oh, but we have you on video. Don't believe your eyes, Like Biden. Don't believe what you see. She's dumb, and she's a liar, and she pretends she's not part of the administration. When I become president, I'm going to secure that border. And by the way, you ought to take a look. I just posted the Heritage Foundation analysis, and there are many good analyses out there. The Senate border bill is a disaster for border security. The media will never tell you this. All they keep doing is using this as camouflage. But that bipartisan bill, it would have had more resources. It would have done this. It would have done that. They had like 3 talking points related to the bill. And Trump opposed it. I will sign it. So I'm not just talk. I'm action. Yeah, that's what you are. Would have done nothing to secure the border. Nothing. Includes more than $20.2 billion for border funding and hundreds of pages of border and immigration reforms. The key takeaway is that neither the funding nor the statutory reforms would truly secure the border, and border security is the only measure that Congress should use. And this is from people who know something about the border. Mark Morgan and Tom Homan, both of whom you know. With more than $7 billion for the Department of Homeland Security. It goes on and on and on. It codifies Biden's open border tools. That's what it does. Unacceptably codifies what Biden is doing. Codifies crisis levels of daily illegal immigration. Creates a 3-year border emergency authority to allow agents to expel illegal aliens back across the border during extraordinary migration instances. But the numerous exceptions and limitations swallow the authority in whole. Secretary of Homeland Security has the discretion to activate the authority after the U.S. Customs and Border, CBP, encounters an average of 4,000 illegal aliens daily for 7 consecutive days. Secretary activation of the emergency authority becomes mandatory after it encounters 5,000 daily for 7 consecutive days, or 8,501. Not counted in those numbers are unaccompanied children, parolees, those who claim a fear persecution, have already been in the U.S. for 14 days, or already traveled beyond 100 miles from the southwest corner. Look, it's Swiss cheese. Not only that, it doesn't count the people that the administration is bringing into the country. 500,000, now probably closer to 1 million. The secretary would not be able to activate the authority for more than 270 days, 225 days, and 180 days in any calendar year. The bill then adds cumbersome and confusing calendar calculation requirements that further limit the secretary's use of the emergency authority. And the secretary and president can suspend the authority unilaterally. So it's nothing. It's nothing. And I want to thank the media for not reporting on this, because they've demonstrated once again what a bunch of slobs and thugs they actually are. Continuously allow these crisis-level numbers of illegal alien encounters means that border agents would remain overwhelmed, more illegal crossers would evade the agents, turning them into gotaways, bad actors would slip through the limited and rushed vetting. It goes on and on and on. And by the way, on my own, I can tell you that the so-called funding doesn't even take place till 2028. But if you only had signed the bill, the bipartisan bill, we'd have a secure border. I'm going to sign the bill. Trump wouldn't sign the bill. There needn't be any bill under Donald Trump. He'll close that damn border, and he doesn't need this. This would make it almost impossible for Donald Trump to secure the border. Almost impossible. So the bill is the opposite. It's like the Inflation Reduction Act that creates inflation.